Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to make a bookmark. This is a simple beginner project. We do a little bit of work in the round. We're using mostly double crochets, single crochets, slip stitches, and chain stitches. The flower we're going to be making today is a little thistle. For this project, you're going to need some yarn. I'm going to be using this number 3 weight mercerized cotton today. You're also going to need a crochet hook. I'll be using this 3mm hook today. You'll also need a pair of scissors, as well as a yarn needle to weave in your ends. So gather your supplies, and let's jump in. All right, we're going to begin with a slip stitch. From here, chain 50. 1, 2, 3, 48, 49, and 50. Now in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do a slip stitch. From here, we're going to slip stitch into the first 10 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 9, and 10. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do a single crochet, and then a double crochet in the same stitch, and then one more single crochet in the same stitch. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next 20 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 19, and 20. Now in the next stitch, we're going to do a single crochet, and then a double crochet, and then a single crochet, all in the same chain. And now we're going to slip stitch all the way to the end of the row. So those little sections where we did a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet, those are like our little thorns or our little leaves on the stem. So here we are at the end of the initial chain. I'm just going to put my last slip stitch in there. And now we're actually going to be working into this initial chain to make some leaves. So I'm going to start with a chain of 2. Chain 1, chain 2. Now I'm going to put 4 double crochets into that space. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I'm going to chain 3. Chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. Now in the same space, I'm going to put 5 double crochets. There's 1 and 5. And those are going to be our 2 little top leaves for the top of the flower. In this space is where we're going to be working the actual thistle flower. Now we're going to be working down the chain again. So I'm going to just slip stitch into the same space, or single crochet into the same space that I've been doing all of those double crochets in. And then I'm going to slip stitch into the chain again. So I'm going to find a spot where I can pick up 2 loops of the chain, and I'm just going to pull a slip stitch through. And now what I'm going to do for this next section is I'm going to go for the first 10 slip stitches, and when I get to the 10th stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet, a double crochet, and a single crochet, all in the same spot. So that was number 1, 2, and 10. And now in the next stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet. If I can get my hook in, there we go. Single crochet, and then a double crochet in the same stitch, and then a single crochet in the same stitch. And now I'm going to slip stitch down the next 20 stitches. 1, 2, and 20. And now in the next stitch, I'm going to do a single crochet, and then a double crochet, and then a single crochet, all in the same stitch. And now I'm going to slip stitch down to the end of the row. All right, and now I've made it to the end of my row. You can see the stem is nice and thick now, and those little thorns on each side of the row make cute little detail. And now at the end of this row, we want to create a little bit of a larger end. So what we're going to do is a single crochet into the last stitch of the row. Then another single crochet into the last stitch of the row. Then a third single crochet into the last stitch of the row. Now chain 1 and turn the work. Now we're going to do a row of 3, so single crochet into those 3 stitches we did. 1, 2, and 3. That third one is a chain 1. And now we're gonna chain 2 and turn, 1 and 2. Now in this first stitch, we're gonna do 2 double crochets. There's 1, and there's 2. And then in the middle stitch, we'll just do 1 double crochet. And then in the last stitch, we'll do 2 double crochets. There's 1, and there's 2. And now here, we're gonna chain 2 and turn. Chain 1, chain 2. And now in this row, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do 2 double crochets in the first stitch. There's 1, there's 2, and then double crochet across with 2 double crochets in the last stitch. There's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're gonna put 2 double crochets in that last stitch. There's 1, and there's 2. And now we've got this nice little triangle at the end of the work. Now we're gonna work reverse. We're going to create a taper that goes the other way. So to do that, we're gonna start with a chain of 2 and turn the work. And for this next row, we're gonna start with a double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert the hook into the first stitch and pull up a loop, insert the hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops on the hook. There's 2 left, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Now we're gonna double crochet across the row until there's 2 stitches left in the row. Now there's 2 stitches left in the row here, so we're gonna do a double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch and pull up a loop, insert the hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, 2 loops left on the hook, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. Then we're gonna chain 2 and turn. For this row, we're just going to double crochet across. So 1 double crochet in each stitch across. Now that we made it to the end of the row, I'm going to do a chain 2 and turn. For this next row, we're gonna decrease again. So we're gonna start the row with a double crochet 2 together. And then we're gonna double crochet across the row until there are 2 stitches left in the row, which means we're just gonna do 1 double crochet. And then for that last 2 stitches, we're gonna double crochet 2 together. And now we have 3 stitches left in that row. So we're gonna start with a chain 2, and we're gonna turn the work around. And now for this row, we're going to double crochet 3 together. So we're gonna insert the hook, we're gonna yarn over the hook, insert the hook into the first stitch, pull up a loop, insert the hook into the second stitch, pull up a loop, insert the hook into the last stitch of the row and pull up a loop. Now there's 5 loops on the hook. We're gonna yarn over and pull through 4 of them. And then we'll yarn over and pull through the last 2 stitches. And then we're gonna chain 1 and turn. And now in our last stitch, because there's just 1 stitch in the row, we're gonna do a single crochet. And then we're going to turn the work around, no chain 1, and we're gonna finish off by putting a slip stitch in that last single crochet. Just so that we're ending on a nice point. Now I'm going to trim my yarn at this point and pull that final loop through. And then we're just gonna have to weave in that end. And now we've got a nice tapered end on our little bookmark. So now that we've got the stem portion done, here is the base of our stem, and then we've got the whole stem with the little thorns coming off of either end. It's time for us to get to the flower portion of our thistle. So I'm going to be using a purple yarn because I think that'll look perfect because thistles are purple. You could definitely use any color you want though, because this could be any type of flower. I'm just saying it's a thistle because that's what I'm aiming for with this one. So I'm still going to be using the 3mm hook, and I'm going to be picking up a stitch right at the first stitch that we put in the first double crochet. Let me zoom you in. So not the slip stitch or the single crochet at the beginning of the round. The first double crochet right here. I'm going to insert my hook into that stitch, and then I'm going to yarn over with the purple yarn and pull up a loop. Then I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to drop the tail, and I'm going to do a chain 1. just like that. Now I'm going to put a single crochet into that same stitch that I just pulled the chain 1 out of, just like that. And now I'm going to single crochet up to this point here, 1 in each stitch. So now there's 5 purple single crochets in this row. Now that I've made it up to this space, I'm going to be switching to double crochets. So to do that, I'm not going to do any chain 1s or anything. I'm just going to switch straight into double crochets. In this spot, I'm going to do a total of 8 double crochet stitches. There's 1, 2, and 8. Now into the next 5 double crochet stitches, I'm going to put 1 single crochet each. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I'll chain 1 and turn. For this next section, we're going to start with 5 slip stitches. So we'll do 1 slip stitch in each of the single crochets. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4, and 5. Now we're at the double crochet section. In the double crochets, we're going to start with 2 double crochets in that first double crochet stitch. There's 1, and there's 2. And then in the next 2 double crochets, we're just going to put 1 stitch in each, 1 double crochet in each. There's 1, and there's 2. Now in the next 2 stitches, we're going to put 2 double crochets in each. There's 1, there's 2, and then in the next stitch, there's 1, and there's 2. Now in the next 2 stitches, we'll just put 1 double crochet in each. There's 1, and then 2. And then in the last of the double crochets, we're going to put 2 double crochets in that stitch. There's 1, and there's 2. And that's just going to flare out the top of our thistle a little bit. On the way back down the thistle here, we're going to do 5 slip stitches. So in each of the single crochets, we'll just put a slip stitch all the way down. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now at this point, I am going to yarn over and pull my yarn through, and I'm going to cut my dark purple yarn. I've decided I'm going to switch into my light purple yarn for the final section of this flower. With my light purple yarn, I've got this light purple here, I'm going to attach my yarn at the double crochet stitch, at the first double crochet stitch. I'm going to do that by pulling up a loop with the hook, then I'll drop my tail, and then I'm going to chain 1 with the new yarn. And now what I'm going to do is a round of single crochets. I'm going to just do 1 single crochet, the same stitch we did our chain 1, I'm going to put a single crochet in that stitch, and then I am going to single crochet in each of the double crochet stitches all the way around. When I get to the end of the double crochets, that's where I'm going to be stopping this row. Now for the next row, I'm going to start with a chain of 2, chain 1, chain 2. And now in this row, I'm going to start with 2 double crochets in the first stitch. There's 1, and there's 2. Then in the next 2 stitches, I'm going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch. There's 1, there's 2, and now in the next stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochets. There's 1, and there's 2. Now in the next 2 stitches, I'm just going to put 1 double crochet in each stitch. There's 1, and there's 2. And now in the next stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochets. There's 1, and there's 2. Now in the next 2 stitches, I'm going to put 1 double crochet in each stitch. There's 1, and there's 2. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to put 2 double crochets. There's 1, and there's 2. Now there's 3 stitches left in the row. I'm going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then in the last stitch of the row, I'll put 2 double crochets. just like that. And now our thistle is starting to have a more thistle-like appearance. Now all we have to do is add a little ruffle around the edge. And we're gonna do that by starting with a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then turn the work around. Now this part's really simple. We're gonna start by putting a single crochet into the second stitch rather. So not into this stitch, but this one. We're gonna put a single crochet into there. And now we're gonna chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And now we're gonna put a single crochet into the next stitch. And then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then a single crochet into the next stitch. And then chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And we're just gonna repeat that all the way across. Single crochet, chain 3. Single crochet, chain 3. We're not skipping any stitches. We're putting a single crochet in each stitch, but we're doing a chain 3 between those single crochets, and that's gonna create a cute little ruffled edge. So I'm just gonna zoom through this part and I will see you at the end of the row to show you what it's looking like. And here I am at the last stitch of the row, so I'll do my final single crochet, and then I'm going to pull through one last loop and cut my yarn. Now I'll just take a second and weave in all my ends with my yarn needle. Ta-da! Here it is! What do you think? I think this turned out actually so cute, very thistle-like with the square base, and you've got the little leaves covering the bottom, and then we've got that frilly top just like a thistle has. This is a perfect size to use in a bullet journal, a 6 by 8, is that how big these are? You can see the little floral part can stick out the top so that when it's closed you've got a pretty little half circle sticking out the top, and then you've got your cute little leaf sticking out the bottom. Two cute ends on a very cute bookmark. The bookmarks that come with a bullet journal are just a piece of ribbon, so why not jazz it up by doing some crochet work? It kind of gives that pressed flower vibe, and I think by doing that chain 3 around the edge, we gave a cute little lacy edge, just like a real thistle has. And by doing the chain 3 between the two little blocks of green, we end up looking like we have two little leaves there. And these little thorns are so darling. I'm kind of obsessed with this. And since we did the slip stitches around the edge of the base, it's got a little bit of a thickness to it that makes it a little bit more sturdy feeling, a little more finished. I love that square edge that we created by doing that. And then by having that square edge and then the whimsy of having these little thorns coming out the side, I think that is just adorable. What flower should we make next? I think we should do a bookmark series where we do a whole bunch of different flowers. I'm kind of obsessed with it, so I definitely think I want to make more. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you're going to be making one of these also. Hey, by the way, thank you so much to everyone supporting the channel this month. Here is the list of everyone supporting the channel. If you want to show your support, check out the links in the description down below. I'll also put any related tutorials down there so that if you need a little extra help, the video description is where you're going to find it. Anyways, friends, that's all I've got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next week. Bye!